Our world is filled with natural wonders. As with other naturalists fueled with curiosity, I've endeavored to understand as much as I can about these wonders. A timeless and invaluable tool that most naturalists use is a journal. A journal not only helps the naturalist to reflect upon his observations, but protects the observations from the human memory, which is notorious for distorting and neglecting details. I am passionate about my studies and love to share with anybody willing to engage. This is why I create and share my nature journal. It's been hot this last week, with temperatures reaching into the 90s, and enough wind to carry these cottonwood seeds far and wide. Not to mention all the thermal updrafts to keep the raptors, such as bald eagles, happy and active.
Across each other, that was cool. Oh, all the well, could be a lot of make a lot of beavers happy. So cute.
Down below, flowers are blooming and attracting more pollinators. And sweat bees seem to be one of the most common pollinators this week. Viceroys are also coming in.
Take that back if you want.
And we've been seeing more tiger swallowtails. One of the most common caterpillars we've been seeing are that of the Acrea moth. And there's been a lot of tent caterpillars out. Many people know them for the giant communal tents that they build. Cuckoos know them as a favorite food source. And I haven't yet been able to identify this grasshopper, but it seems to be the only species out and abundant right now. More should show up later in the summer and the fall. Many of the nests we've checked on are doing well, such as this wren's nest, which is right on track. But not all of them. We found this dead swallow in one of the boxes. Probably the heavy rain prevented it from finding food. We've also been watching a chickadee nest at the beaver pond. It seems to be doing pretty well. The parents are almost constantly in and out feeding the chicks. While doing research on snapping turtles a week or two ago, I found that they don't have a particular nesting season. They can nest any time of year, even in the winter if you go far enough south. However, I've seen two different snapping turtles digging nests this week, and found some cracked eggs in the marsh. And a rehabilitator I know says she's been getting a lot of calls for turtles getting hit by cars. This leads me to believe that at least in New York, they're much more likely to breed in the spring. The summer's heat has been a bit oppressive lately, but the woods is a nice place to get away and relax, and see some familiar creatures. It's also a nice place to look closely and see more unfamiliar creatures. And the mixture of rain and heat have exposed some unusually wonderful marvels. I spent a lot of time in the woods this week looking around the leaf litter and under logs and rocks to see what creepy crawlies I could find. These are fairly common and conspicuous, the white spring moth, members of the geometer family. And in the creek, there were these stoneflies crawling out of the water. If I knew this was a click beetle at the time, I would have put it on its back to watch it flip up into the air and make the clicking sound in the process. This beetle was found hiding in a rock crevice near the creek. Its name, Megacephala virginica, literally translates into big head from Virginia. It is a member of the ground beetles family, and as these large jaws may suggest, it is a voracious hunter. This beetle sat so still when I was looking at it that when it finally did move, it gave me a bit of a scare. Under this rock are beetle larvae. They look quite similar to the mealworms sold in pet stores for reptile food. Mealworms and other like larvae come from the same family of darkling beetles. Under logs with ant colonies, there are usually no other species. This is because ants are also voracious predators. They will take prey much larger than themselves and seem to have no fear of sacrificing their lives. Luckily, up here, there are no ants capable of stinging or biting humans. Otherwise, I could be in trouble every time I found an ant colony. I also noticed that under rocks with worms, there were usually no other life forms. This is probably because worms prefer wetter environments than most other animals can handle. Earthworms are easy targets for predators. Their main defense is that they can be cut in half and the interior half will still live. The posterior end wiggles quite a bit, but eventually will die. Predators will often still kill the earthworm instead of taking the moving bait. The predator in this scene is a rove beetle. Rove beetles do come from a large family of over 4,000 species in North America alone. The oldest known rove beetles stretch back to the Triassic period, 200 million years ago. Their serpentine appearance from the elongated abdomen and short wings make them quite distinguishable. Virtually the entire family of rove beetles is predatory, including the larvae. Because of this, they are generally considered beneficial to gardeners and farmers. By the time I stumbled upon this attack, the earthworm had already been cut in half and had several lacerations from the jaws of this rove beetle. Even so, this was quite a large prey item for this small beetle. Since I started watching, it took over 6 minutes for the beetle to drag this worm underneath the leaf litter. And as far as I know, it never came back for the second half. One of my focuses this week was assessing the salamander populations. I did find a couple of red F's crawling around on the forest floor. I didn't find as many as I had hoped to, but the population does seem to be higher than it was last summer. And under logs and rocks, I did find some red-backed salamanders. I searched most of the creeks looking for slimy and spring salamanders. I didn't find any except in this spot. I did expect them here because when we built this new bridge last fall, we found some. This is the remnants of the old bridge that we laid out nicely on the forest floor. Leaving the bridge here paid off. There were quite a few of these isopods in the family Armadillidae, commonly known as pillbugs or roly-polies. They consume rotting vegetation and are not known to harbor any harmful diseases to humans. These snails were quite common also, crawling through the cracks and crevices of the rotting old boards from the bridge. They seem to be congregated around this gelatinous, slimy substance. Perhaps this is their eggs? Or maybe these are. But I did find what I came for, the northern two-lined salamander. And it did seem as if we had a fairly healthy population. I was pleasantly surprised to find this dusky salamander. This is the first one that's been found on the sanctuary. Our mission at Spring Farm Cares Nature Sanctuary is to protect wildlife and enhance habitat around central New York. We thank everybody for supporting us, and if anyone has any questions, comments, would like to learn more, or schedule a tour with us, please check out our website or find us on Facebook.